If you're Iran right now and you're looking around at the fact that your conventional capability has been reduced, your proxies have been reduced, your main client state has been eliminated, Assad has fallen, it's no wonder there are voices saying, hey, maybe we need to go for a nuclear weapon right now. It's a risk that I'm personally briefing the incoming team on, and it's something that is the consequence not of Iranian strength, but of Iranian weakness.
National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan says the risk of Iran resuming its pursuit of nuclear weapons could be immediate, adding it could be an opportunity for President Trump to hammer out a nuclear deal with Iran. General Jack Keane joining us now to weigh in on all of this. General, thank you for taking time. Merry Christmas. The world is facing a precipitous time when it comes to what's happening with the threat of nuclear weapons proliferating. What do you make of what Jake Sullivan had to say there?
Well, he defined the reality of what's taken place. I mean, Iran is back on its heels in a way it's never been in 44 years since the supreme leader and the radicals took over the country. Both of their proxies, their main proxies, Hamas and Hezbollah, have been decimated. They've lost their strategic platform, Syria, which was the main platform for them to be able to dominate and control the Middle East. They are defenseless at home. The military's always been weak, Griff, and their investment has been rockets and missiles for the conventional military, and obviously the same for their proxies. But the reality is, Israel has stripped away their air defense system, so the leadership in Tehran is not protected from an air attack. Their nuclear sites are not, nor are their rocket and missiles production sites, some of which Israel destroyed on the last attack. So they are very, very vulnerable, and they know it. So what option does Iran have left? Move to a nuclear weapon as soon as possible. They've always wanted a nuclear weapon, been in pursuit of it for decades. Why do they want it? For the same reason other countries like them have wanted it, to guarantee the preservation of the regime. So now that they're back on the heels, this is more of a desperate situation. What is really happening? Iran is pursuing this nuclear weapon covertly at two sites, Saranjan and Parshan. Those are sites that have never been inspected by the IAEA ever. So that is ongoing. The current administration is aware of it. The incoming administration is aware of it. What are the options? I think I know where Prime Minister Netanyahu is. He wants to take down these nuclear sites sooner rather than later, and he doesn't trust Iran to dismantle the system if we use coercive diplomacy. That is the other option. Send a message to the Supreme Leader. President Trump leads that message, maybe signed by Netanyahu, and tell them he has an ultimatum. Dismantle your sites by a date certain, submit to inspections by the region, by the United States, by IAEA, UN inspectors. If you don't do that and you don't stop your malign activity in the region, then we'll cripple your nuclear enterprise using kinetic strike. That, I think, is what's in front of us. I think the incoming administration, in talking to Prime Minister Netanyahu, are working the options, and they'll eventually present those to President Trump for decision.
General, a week ago on Monday, I was in Mar-a-Lago at that press conference with the President-elect Trump, and he was asked, would you consider a preemptive strike on Iran for this very reason? And he said, I'm not going to answer that. Why would I answer that question? But as you sort of lay this out, is that something that the incoming administration really needs to take a hard look, given what you know about the timeline and how fast this may be advancing?
Well, no, that's what I just said. I mean, they absolutely are looking at it, and they're working up options for the president to consider it. And I think it'll be very much in conjunction with what Israel wants to do as well. The problem the Israelis have, they do not have the capabilities to really do the necessary damage to these sites. There's somewhere in the neighborhood of a dozen nuclear sites as part of the enterprise. And some of those are deeply buried sites with very thick walls to protect them. We have the kind of munitions that can penetrate that system. Obviously, we can give them to Israel, or we can participate with Israel in such an attack. It would not be an attack, that would be comprehensive against the entire regime. I think it would be more a focused attack at dealing with this enterprise and maybe rockets and missile productions. I doubt seriously if they would go into Tehran and take down leadership targets and other targets in that vicinity, although that would be available to them. And certainly knowing that Iran is defenseless, it is a target they could strike with some confidence in accomplishing its mission. But I think it would be limited, likely, to their other strategic targets.
All options on the table. General Jack Keane, thank you very much. Have a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you and the team. Thank you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.